everybody, it's Richie from Bear Creek Organics, and we're here at the fruit tree nursery. I'm going to talk about these amazing plums we have today. These are Japanese plums, and they were brought to the nursery in 2016 and 2017. We've been shaping them and pruning them and growing them organically for, I believe this is the 4th season we're coming up to now. I've been noticing a lot of clients wanting to start backyard orchards, and when you order a fruit tree online, you get this tiny little plant. It's like that big, it's a little twig, and you might plant that in the ground and have to wait 3 or 4 years before you finally get a harvest. One of the benefits that our trees can offer you is if you want to have fruit this year or maybe the next year, if you want to save 3 or 4 years of grow time, we have large mature trees available. They're old enough now that they're starting to flower. They're actually really beautiful to smell. It smells almost like bubble gum or something like that. But we've been shaping and pruning these trees to have really strong branching structures. And a huge mistake I see a lot of clients making is they buy these trees and they just let them grow for a few years without pruning, and you get all kinds of problems with weak branching structure, and everything's wrong, and I normally have to come and fix that, and it takes a few years to fix that mistake. Well, instead, you can buy a tree that's already been pruned, that's already been taken care of, it's established, and plant it in your garden or your backyard orchard, and you're saving all of that time and you're saving all of that guesswork with the pruning. There's basically 2 more things that I think is really important that gives all of the plants in this nursery an advantage, gives you an advantage, and that's over the last couple of years we've been switching to these felt grow bags. And we've talked about this a lot in other videos, but the typical plastic grow container is very bad for a fruit tree. The roots actually grow, and when they hit the edge of a plastic container, the roots will spiral. And you'll notice this if you buy a tree from a big box store that looks huge and healthy and you get a great deal on it, but you take it out of the pot and the roots are all tangled in a knot. That's really bad for a tree. It stunts the growth of the tree. The tree may never recover from that tangling of its roots. And if you don't pull apart all of those circling roots, the tree can actually strangle itself and die. The felt grow bags that we use actually cause the tree to have a very, very thick root system. Every time one of those roots hits the edge of the felt, instead of circling, it gets trapped into the felt and the tip of that root dies. And what happens is then the plant sends out more roots, and each root hits the felt and branches more and more and more. So all of these trees have a very, very vigorous, well-developed root system. So when you plant them in your garden, you're going to get instant takeoff with the growth of these plants. And we've actually converted the whole nursery, pretty much the whole nursery, to these grow bags, because we've noticed such a huge difference in quality. The rate at which the tree adapts to your backyard is much faster. The overall establishment and health of the fruit tree is just so much better using these bags that we've now pretty much done this to all of the plants. You can see all through here, these are all of our apple trees and all different kinds of plants that we carry. It's not just plums. We have dozens of types of apple trees. We have multiple options of rootstocks and cultivars available for you. Apple trees, nut trees, berry bushes. We'll get into that in future videos. Right now, the biggest and most mature plants that we have are these huge plum trees. We have a few apple trees that are this size. And another advantage that you have if you live anywhere in northeastern PA is that these plants are now acclimated. They're locally adapted to our climate, which means since they've been living in northeastern PA the last couple of seasons, they wake up at the exact time in the springtime as all of the plants naturally would in this area. Whereas if you get a fruit tree from a big box store, it's normally shipped in from a southern state and it's already been flowering and it's not quite used to our climate. It's not quite, it gets a little bit of a shock. It gets stunted because it may have started flowering and then been shipped up from Georgia or Virginia or wherever these trees are coming from, or it may have been sitting in a greenhouse. These trees have been through the they've basically suffered through the winter. They've been subjected to the environment in our area. So they're gonna really have that advantage when you plant them in your backyard, because they're already ready for the climate that you're gonna put them in. They have healthy root systems. They're adapted, locally adapted to your climate, and they've been professionally pruned. And you could tell they're nice and mature. They're 6, 7, 8 feet tall. They have excellent branching structure. So it takes, basically, getting a tree like this, the advantage you have is it takes away the guesswork in pruning. It takes away all of those years you'll have to wait for your tree to establish. We have giant 15 to 20 gallon pots that they're growing in. And they're felt grow bags, so you know that the root system is not stunted. The root system is vigorous and healthy. And we only have about 10 of these available. So if you would like to kind of get an instant start on your plum, your stone fruit part of your backyard orchard, you can get that going with these here. And if you want peaches, plums, pears, apples, anything you really need is in this nursery. You can schedule a visit for the nursery. Nursery visits are all custom appointment based, and you get to walk through the nursery with me and pick out the plants that are right for your yard and the context of your life, what you're trying to grow for the health of your family, your diet, your healthy lifestyle goals and needs, and how you plan on using your yard, the context of your property, the soil type, the sun type, where you're located, and we help you match all that up with your food production goals, your lifestyle goals, and everything we do is customized and geared towards you having success, taking away all the mistakes that I've seen people make time and time again when they try doing it themselves. So come here to the Bear Creek Organic Tree Nursery and we'll get you set up with everything you need.